Tano survived Order 66, but what happened next forced her to relearn how to live in a galaxy that suddenly wanted her dead. And the turning point actually begins with a Force-sensitive child on a forgotten Outer Rim world, hiding in plain sight. After Order 66, Ahsoka Tano does exactly what very few surviving Jedi manage to do successfully. She disappears. Instead of trying to contact allies or return to any familiar territory, she heads deep into the Outer Rim and begins looking for places the Empire would consider insignificant. Worlds far from major hyperspace routes, worlds with small populations, worlds where a new arrival would not attract much attention. Eventually she finds one of these places, Tibesca. Now, what makes Tibesca interesting is not that it is prosperous or strategically valuable. In fact, the opposite is true. The planet survives mostly through small-scale trading of water and technology, and its population is scattered and loosely organised. The kind of environment makes it perfect for someone trying to blend in. So Ahsoka lands there, fully intending to disappear into the background. But here's the first complication she encounters. Even quiet planets have power structures, and on Tibesca, that power belongs to the Ferdi clan. The Ferdi family touches almost every business on the planet. Some of those operations are legitimate, while others quietly drift into smuggling and shadow trade. Because of that influence, the family notices new arrivals quickly, and that means Ahsoka cannot simply vanish the way she hoped. She begins calling herself Ashla, and that name actually carries several layers of meaning inside Star Wars lore. Ashla is connected to the light side of the Force. It is the name of a moon orbiting the Jedi world of Titan, and it even appears as the name of a Jedi youngling during the Clone Wars era. For Ahsoka, choosing that name becomes a quiet way to hold on to who she is without revealing it. From the outside though, she is just another traveller looking for work. When she first arrives, a group of young girls approach her and help her find food and a place to stay. These girls turn out to be the daughters and nieces of the Ferdi family, and their curiosity quickly pulls Ahsoka into the clan's orbit. Soon, she sells her ship to one of the Ferdis for what she believes is a decent price. She starts doing mechanical work around the settlement, and before long she is living inside the Ferdi compound itself. For the first time since the fall of the Republic, Ahsoka has found something that feels like stability. But there is one rule she refuses to break. She will not use the Force. The secret she can't hide. For months, Ahsoka keeps her abilities completely hidden. She repairs droids, she fixes machinery, she blends into daily life on Tibesca so successfully that people simply see her as a quiet mechanic who is good with tools. But hiding the Force becomes much more difficult when danger unexpectedly appears. 2 months before the first Empire Day, Ahsoka is working in the shipyard when she notices several Ferdi children playing near a stack of heavy cargo crates. The crates begin to tip, and the children panic. In that split second, Ahsoka makes the decision that every hidden Jedi eventually faces. She acts. Without drawing attention to herself, she uses the Force to levitate the crates and stop them from crushing the children. The moment passes quickly, and the kids focus more on avoiding trouble than questioning what just happened. They promise not to tell their parents, even offering up the sweets as a kind of childish bribe. Most of them treat the moment like something strange they would rather forget. Except for one. Hidala Ferdi, the youngest of the group, watches Ahsoka with fascination. And not long afterward, Ahsoka discovers why. Hidala begins quietly lifting small stones with subtle hand movements. That is the moment Ahsoka realizes the girl is Force sensitive. Now think about what that means in the Imperial era. The Jedi Order is gone. The Empire is hunting survivors, and there are already rumours circulating about a dark enforcer who specifically hunts Jedi. So suddenly Ahsoka is no longer just protecting herself. There is a child on this planet who would become a target. The day the Empire arrives. Empire Day marks the anniversary of Emperor Palpatine's rise to power, and across the galaxy it becomes a moment for the Empire to demonstrate authority. On Tibesca, the Ferdi family prepares to host Imperial guests. When the Ferdi girls tell Ahsoka about the coming celebration, they also mention something else without realising its full significance. Security is a mess. Ships are crowding the shipyard, visitors are arriving constantly, and the Imperial presence is creating chaos. For Ahsoka, that sounds less like a celebration and more like a warning. If Imperial officials are visiting the planet, the chances of someone noticing her grow dramatically. So instead of attending the parade, she decides it is time to disappear again. She gathers her belongings and heads toward the landing field, hoping to slip away before anyone pays attention. That escape does not go smoothly. Stormtroopers are already moving through the city streets, and avoiding them forces Ahsoka to improvise. Eventually, she steals one of the Fardy family ships and launches off-planet. But once she reaches orbit, something heavy settles in. She remembers Hidala, a Force-sensitive child living on a world that has just welcomed the Empire. Ahsoka realizes that she may already be too late to help, and with that thought in mind, she jumps to hyperspace. If you were enjoying the Star Wars deep dive, it's practically all we do here, so you might want to stick around. A new refuge on Raada. Ahsoka's next hiding place is a remote agrarian moon called Raada. Raada could not feel more different from the chaotic galaxy she has been running through. The moon is quiet, rural, and built almost entirely around farming communities that work the limited soil available. When Ahsoka lands there under the alias Ashla, she meets a young farmer named Caden Lart. Caden quickly offers her a place to stay in an abandoned home that once belonged to someone named Sietra. In return, Ahsoka agrees to work as a mechanic, repairing farming equipment and droids in exchange for ration packs. At first, life on Raada feels almost peaceful. Ahsoka spends her days fixing machinery, talking with Caden and her sister Miara, and slowly integrating into the settlement. She even explores the hills and caves surrounding the town, identifying a hidden cave that could serve as a safe refuge if she ever needs to disappear quickly. But even in quiet places, the galaxy has a way of catching up. While meditating alone in the hills one day, Ahsoka feels a disturbance in the Force. When she looks towards the sky, she sees the reason immediately. An Imperial Star Destroyer has arrived above Raada. The Empire tightens its grip. The Imperial official overseeing Raada is named Janet Pilar, and her objective is straightforward. The Empire wants the moon's crops. At first, the occupation arrives through rules and regulations rather than violence. Curfews are introduced, large gatherings are restricted, cantinas reduce their hours and supplies. But Ahsoka recognises the pattern quickly. She has seen this type of takeover before during the Clone Wars. The Empire begins increasing farmer work shifts while bringing in their own engineered seeds. Those seeds grow quickly, but they also drain the soil, slowly turning Raada's already fragile farmland into useless dirt. And once Ahsoka realises that, the situation changes for her, because the Empire is not simply occupying the planet, they are planning to strip it dry. Instead of confronting the Imperials directly, Ahsoka suggests something more subtle to the farmers. Work slower. If the crops go slowly, the Empire's plans slow down with them. It is not open rebellion yet, but it is the beginning of resistance, the first seeds of rebellion. Over the next few weeks, Ahsoka begins quietly preparing for something bigger. She stockpiles food, medical supplies, and water recyclers in the cave she discovered earlier. A few trusted locals, including the cantina owner Zelda, begin helping her move supplies without attracting attention. Meanwhile, resentment toward the Empire grows rapidly across the settlement. When the farmers learn the new Imperial crops will permanently damage Raada's soil, anger spreads through the community. A local crew leader named Vartan eventually organises around 40 farmers into a resistance group. At that point, Ahsoka stops simply advising them. She begins leading them. Her first real plan targets the Imperial walkers stored at the Radiant shipyard. Instead of destroying them outright, she plans to sabotage them with corrosive charges that will disable the machines without triggering a massive military response. She carefully selects a small infiltration team and studies the stormtrooper patrol routes before placing the charges. And the mission works. The walkers are compromised, but it spirals completely out of control because of what happens next. The uprising that was never planned. While Ahsoka's sabotage mission unfolds, Another group of farmers launches a premature attack on the Imperial Administrative Building. They are poorly armed, poorly organised, and hopelessly outmatched. The Imperial garrison responds with heavy artillery. When Ahsoka arrives at the battle, she finds the surviving farmers pinned down under stormtrooper fire. This is the moment when hiding the Force is no longer possible. She plants explosives behind the Imperial tanks, disabling their advance, and charges into the fight to pull the survivors out. During the escape, stormtroopers line up to execute the captured rebels, and Ahsoka finally does what she has avoided since Mandalore. She openly uses the Force. Blasters are ripped from stormtrooper hands, incoming artillery is deflected, and the remaining farmers escape to the caves. But now the Empire knows something important. A powerful Force user is on Raada. The truth comes out. Inside the caves, the surviving rebels demand answers. Kaden in particular is furious. From her perspective, Ahsoka could have revealed her abilities earlier and possibly saved lives during the failed uprising. After a long silence, Ahsoka finally explains the truth. She is a former Jedi apprentice. She survived the Clone Wars, and since Order 66, she has been running from an empire that wants every Jedi dead. That revelation changes everything. Now the farmers understand why the Imperial commander is suddenly obsessed with capturing her, and they also realise something else. As long as Ahsoka remains on Raada, the Empire will keep searching. The situation reaches its final turning point when Kaden is captured by Imperial patrols while trying to return home. Despite interrogation and torture, she refuses to reveal Ahsoka's location or identity, so Ahsoka infiltrates the Imperial Administrative Building alone. Using one of Miara's corrosive explosives, she breaks into Kaden's cell and lifts the weakened farmer out through a high window using the Force. After they escape the compound, Kaden tells her something important. The Imperial commander is no longer interested in the rebellion. He wants Ahsoka specifically. At that point, Ahsoka understands what must happen next. If she stays, Raada will suffer, so she promises Kaden something instead. She will leave, but she will return someday, and when she does, the Empire will not control the galaxy the same way, because the quiet resistance that began on Raada is only the beginning of a much larger fight. Let me know in the comments, would you have revealed yourself in the Force to save farmers you barely knew like Ahsoka did, or would you prioritise your own survival? If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and let's uncover the galaxy's greatest secrets together. Thanks for watching.